Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, as you see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where I've got quite a marathon recording session ahead of me today, because I need to record quite a few episodes, to be honest. Quite a few sort of pre-recorded episodes. I realise I planned this a little bit poorly. I mean, to be fair, a lot of it's my own procrastination, where I just didn't record as much as I should have on previous days. But I just realised that, of course, I do need to pre-record tomorrow because I can't actually record. Well, I technically could record an episode tomorrow, but I probably shouldn't. But hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 6:06 PM on Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. So we're recording pre-recorded episodes. Not this one, obviously. This one's just a normal episode, but pre-recorded episodes for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, I don't necessarily need to because I will be back on my Monday. But if you don't know, I'm basically going on holiday and flying very early Friday. So while that's why I'm like, I technically could record on Thursday, I probably shouldn't. Well, okay, it's not like that early. It's not like 6 AM or something. But it's like sort of midday and you want to get there early, like a couple of hours at least, sort of earlier than the actual flight takes off, so you know, get them in the morning, travel time as well, so it's sort of just like leaving in the early morning. And even though I could probably just sort of stake it out with like 2 or 3 hours of sleep or something, that seems like a bad idea, is what I'd say. So that's that. I just need to record it. I mean, it sounds like a lot. It's not actually that much because, I mean, if you think about it, the episode's about 20 minutes long, so it's probably just about an hour and a bit of recording. I should record an extra episode of 1,000 Times Resist, which I didn't realise. I was like, oh, you know, I was like, I'm back on Monday. I can record then. And then I realised I'm actually back quite late. I'm back in the evening on Monday, which is past 1,000 Times Resist upload time. So if worst comes to worst, I mean, it'll just be uploaded like at 9 PM that day or something. But yeah, I mean, the weekends have just been bogged down. The weekdays have just been bogged down. There's no D&D today, for a reason. So I could actually have time to actually record all of these. So don't be surprised if these next Animal Crossing videos are sort of shortish. Have I packed? Not entirely. I don't need to pack too much. Like literally it's only a few days and there's a very small sort of baggage allowance. So I need to be very selective with what I pack. / I need to wear about like 12 different things on the way there. I was actually thinking in my head what I'm going to wear, and my plan is basically to wear something which is relatively thin on the inside, which is my one outfit, and then I wear like a sweater dress on top of that, and just sort of carry a light coat. That way I'm basically wearing 2 outfits at once, which you might say is a bit excessive, but at the same time it's kind of like, well, you know, literally like what there's room to pack is I think it's like a 40 by 30 by 20 bag, which is doable for a few days, I think, because again, remember, like on Friday, so it's Friday to Saturday, Sunday, back on a Monday. So really, how many outfits do I need? I'm probably going to wear the same thing on the Friday and the Monday because those are travel days, wear something comfy, doesn't really matter what. Saturday probably should have its own outfit. Sunday maybe should have its own outfit if I've got space. That's kind of depending. And then I gotta have room. I don't need to have room for toiletries necessarily, but I do need room for my makeup and some random other stuff. And I was just thinking about like the weekend trip I packed for most recently. I filled up this bag. Now I'm not going to bring everything I brought to that trip. I'm going to pack even lighter than that trip, because that trip I put like I'm trying to think, like I brought, I guess I could also double up my pajamas as like an outfit to wear or something one of the days. I didn't really think about that until just now. But I'm bringing the same bag. Just the same bag, if I fill it completely to the brim, would definitely be over the limit of like the size. But if it's not filled to the brim, then it should be enough space. But on that weekend trip, I also brought a lot of like sort of bigger bottles essentially, which I won't be allowed to bring, of course, on the flight, because that's something we're bringing up. And worst comes to worst, you know, I think some people are having like checked in luggage or like overhead locker luggage, and I I opted not to go for that because I was like, I could probably, I mean, it's like 4 days. It's, really the biggest thing I end up bringing tends to be clothes, if anything. But I'm just like, let's just be conservative with clothes. Because really, like, technically I would only need 2 outfits or something. But I think with this tech I'm trying to do, I could probably get away with like 3-ish or something. I was also like, I'm not going to say where I'm going until after the holiday as I usually do. I need to actually check out what the weather is like. I'm pretty sure I checked it and it's pretty mild, like it's highs of like 20s. And yeah, so I should dress up pretty warm, I think. I'm sort of ideating of what outfits to wear. Because this sort of doubled up outfit idea is a very interesting idea. And I think I have a plan for it. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. The point is, I'm going to be gone. Not tomorrow, but the day after. I'm just going to be busy tomorrow evening. Is why I'm like, I probably shouldn't record an Animal Crossing episode. But yeah, apart from that, what else to talk about? Not much really. We're sort of just chilling. I actually used both my phones today. I used it in the morning, like, because sometimes, you know, in the morning when I'm just sort of getting ready, and I'm like, oh, you know, if I wake up early, I'll just take the time to play some of my games, you know, don't have to switch on my entire computer to do that sort of thing. But I was basically playing games on my main new phone, and then looking at Reddit on my other phone, which is a really insane next level, I think, of multitasking. Anyway, currently now on Optimisation, you might be like, what are you doing? I'm basically rebuilding my Team Trials team, because last time, like, I built all of that before Kita-san Black's banner came out, and now only like 2 of them or something were post Kita-san Black's banner. So I sat down, I planned it out, I'm like, which Umas am I going to have running in which races, what are the builds going to be. I checked out all the top builds, and I was like, whoa, like all my sprinters have way too much stamina, I can get away with far less, I should be building a lot more wit and power. Turns out all the top builds do a lot of wit. I guess it's probably for consistency's sake, which probably matters more in team trials. So, you know, there's a bit behind to look. So I built King Halo, I built Taiki Shuttle for my sprints. I'm going to do a Bakushin as well. But yeah. It is at the point where I'm just sort of like, you know. It's almost a shame that I don't have Super Creek maxed out. I was very tempted to at least sort of try on her banner to see how many copies of her I could pull. But I was like, the card she's paired with is not great. I do literally have a copy of a card that she's paired with, but it's like... I was like, there is another Super Creek banner in the future with Mr. CB, and Mr. CB is actually like a pretty decent card, so that one I'd rather pull on, I think. Yeah, there's my Uma Musume plans. But how am I finding my new friend? It's finding great. Also, update for one of the deliveries, which has been in limbo for like 2 or 3 weeks or something, has been dispatched. It's actually on its way. And I was shocked. I was like, I legit thought you forgot about me. I actually have a feeling they might have, because I sent a follow-up email yesterday just to basically be like, what happened to my email? What happened to my order? But yeah, I mean, it's been shipped. We'll see how it goes. Have I got a refund yet for my phone? No. Google still not responding. I don't know how many different times I'm going to end up basically bumping them. But I don't think we can see the details or when this one is coming. So I don't know. I don't need to plug my phone, I've got 70%. I keep forgetting that the battery on this phone is crazy high. So like, I should probably turn off notifications on Starlight Stage, as I just got a flood of notifications. What I was going to say is, yeah, the battery life is so high, so 70% on this phone is probably the same as like 100% on my other phone. Like, it's so much more battery. Not sponsored, by the way, not yet. That would be great, actually, if I could get sponsored by Google. I don't know why on earth it would sponsor me, but, you know, you can dream. Anywho, what I was gonna say was what should we talk about? Let's talk about more things from the board game con I went to. Oh, I can talk about Wingspan and Wormspan, I guess, a little bit. Wormspan and, well, Wingspan is a game I've never played actually before, but I own on Steam because I was going to play it one time with my friends, but then I think there was one evening they played it and I basically came home like super late. I think, I can't even remember what I was doing that day, but and I joined, and I basically joined as one of the people were leaving, and I was like, okay, that's fine, don't worry about it. We'll play again at some point, and I'm sure we will, to be honest. Like, again, I guess I'm never in, like, I guess my time frame of we'll play it again ranges from anywhere from like, oh, we'll play it next week until like 6 years or something. Like, it doesn't really bother me. It is what it is. But we played, my friends wanted to buy Wormspan, and then they bought Wormspan at this convention, and we played it the day after. So it was technically basically my first time playing Wingspan Wormspan, and I can see it being like I had to be careful about the way I say this, because I have become increasingly sort of self-aware of the fact that I am much more enamored by the concepts of game design than actual games, and actually playing games a lot of the time. Theoreticals seem so much more fun than practicalities, which is weird to say, I think. I don't think it's always true, but I think it's true surprising amount of the time. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy playing the game. I do enjoy playing the game. It's just I enjoy the design elements of a game often more. That for some reason brings me a lot more joy to be like, whoa, that's such a cleverly designed system. But yeah, Wormspan is basically Wingspan, but everything is a dragon, essentially, and it's honestly pretty cool, is what I say. So I only kind of vaguely knew conceptually what the game was like before. I knew you basically had birds and you accrued eggs or something, and then you got food and you somehow won off of that. Wormspan is essentially the same thing, as I understand it. I think it's a little bit different, like, mechanically, but I could not tell you the differences. But the thing which I found very interesting about this game is they almost feel like they are optimization games, I suppose, but they're like, I don't know how to describe it outside of they're like, kind of like you're basically building a machine is what's happening in Wingspan. It's almost like disguised programming in a way. But it's optimization programming, if anything. Now, programming is probably the wrong way to put it, but basically you're just making, you basically have like 3 rows, and in each of the rows you put down birds using resources, and then you like activate one of the rows to basically get the resources that you've put into them. And it's basically like about setting up these sort of not chain reactions, that's too much of a focus, but setting up these like sort of machines where you can continuously have a nice balance of getting out the resources from it and then investing your resources again over and over again into a sort of cycle. That's kind of what's going on, and it was a very, very interesting conceptual thing, I think, because at the start I was like, this is a lot of systems, this is very confusing, I'm not really sure what's going on. And I sort of just like fell out the first round. Did I make a few mistakes? Yeah, of course I did. Like, I don't know all the rules off the top of my head. Interestingly, it sort of like goes around in a cycle. So each person basically takes a turn, takes an action, all in sequence. And then once everyone's run out of actions, that's when one turn, quote, is up. Which is a nice sort of balancing, I think. It kind of reminds me of like Legends of Runeterra, where, you know, the card game is sort of like you take an action and the opponent takes an action, and it sort of like bounces back and forth from that. It's like a very reactive play style, rather than one person like doing a combo and whatever. But I actually quite liked the game a lot, because it's really about optimization. It's about finding these nice sort of like chains together of like synergies between the birds you have, and something which, I mean, that's all I can really say about it. Again, I can't talk about strategy or whatnot. And like, I can say I didn't win. I came second. But to be fair, I feel like if one certain event didn't happen, I probably could have won. But genuinely, like, I got pretty lucky, I think, with the synergies I ended up getting. But my friend, she's not only is she very good at board games, she got insanely lucky, and I think she would readily admit that. I mean, she did readily admit that. She basically got like a 6 long chain of putting down a cavern. Oh, now you can put down a dragon for free, which means I can put down a cavern for free, which means I can put down another cavern for free, which means I can put a dragon down for free, which means I can put another cavern for free. She had an insane turn, which basically catapulted her tempo into the stratosphere. So she ended up with like, I don't know, 114 or something. I ended up around like 105-ish. I don't know, which I thought was a pretty good score, all things considered. I don't really know how I got that score, except for like one of the hatchlings I got. Like, I feel like this hatchling is way too strong. I feel like all the hatchlings may be way too strong, but I don't know if I'm misunderstanding like the rule set or something. But basically it was like every time you put milk on this hatchling, you get a meat in return. So basically it's net neutral for food, except for that milk you put on the hatchling counts as a point towards the end of the game, and every 3 you put down you get a coin, which is another action. And there was just an insane like machine I just had where I basically churned out actions. I don't think I did everything super efficiently. I think I didn't prioritize getting dragons enough early on, so I sort of like started sputtering out where like I didn't have any late game synergies anymore. But yeah, it was basically carried entirely by that engine, and I was like, this is an absolutely ridiculous engine. But something that I reflected upon when I was playing a game, and I don't think I'll title this episode Wingspan because I don't think I'm talking about the game enough, but I was like, damn, I'm like way too optimization focused with my enjoyment, because I remember like partway through the game I was just like, I kind of just like forgot I was like playing with my friends in a sense. It's the best way I can put it. It's not like in a literal sense I forgot, like I looked up and I was like, who are you guys? It was more so that like I wanted to basically make, like I saw a synergy which could happen like with this nice sort of chain reaction. I was like, oh, that'd be so satisfying to pull off and to do. And then one of my friends very fairly bought a dragon, which would have been part of the synergy, and my annoying, I got like annoyed in my head. Not annoyed, I was like, oh, you know, I could have used that to win. I was like, damn, you're like you're robbing me of my optimization like optimization here. It's sort of like, I think probably the way I try to put it is I am trying to build a puzzle, essentially. And in my mind, I'm treating it like it's a fixed jigsaw puzzle, like the corners go here and there's a distinct image at the end I'm trying to go for. When in reality, it's like we got Lego pieces and I'm just trying to assemble the best recreation of something I can. And someone took a Lego piece which was very instrumental to my design. I was like, I don't care about winning. I was like, this is the point. Like, this is the envisioned dragon future I built in my mind. How dare you go against that? Which obviously in the moment I didn't go to my friend and was like, you suck or anything. I just felt I just was like, that was a weird reaction. And then I thought about it later and I was like, I think that's probably why. Like, I think it messed with the image I had in my mind of what I wanted to do. Because, which is so stupid to say, because it's like, what I wanted at the end was not to get the most points. It was, I wanted something where it was like, I trigger an action and then like the entire chain reaction or cycles is complete. I wanted to pull off a combo. I didn't care about if there's an enemy on the other side of it or not. Which, you know, I've often said that I'm achievement focused in games, but I think that's probably the most achievement focused thing I can think of. It's so far down the achievement rabbit hole, but it's more so about actually achieving this arbitrary goal rather than winning the game, which is often the main motivation for playing these games. I think, I wouldn't say it's a sobering moment, because I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I just thought it was a really funny moment where I just sort of looked and went, what am I doing? Why did I think that? But yeah, so I enjoyed it more than I expected, I think, because it's very, very optimization based. I'm unsure how I feel about it in general, because I think probably I'm just not good enough at it, but I felt like I did have very few options a lot of the times to like actually make something that could come together to pop off. But I think that's me just wanting to get the absolute best. I think this way to describe it, I wanted basically the best possible setup every time, when really in these games, because of a competitive nature, you need to settle second, third, fourth best setups a lot of the time, and it's about choosing when those moments are appropriate is how you become good at the game. So it's like, if anything, I wanted to play this game in single player just to have a satisfaction of like, you know, oh, I explore this area and like, whoa, look, I get like 15 eggs or something. Anyway, it's very funny. So yeah, that's my one board game quota, I suppose. Last time, you know, I played a game of Root, I suppose. It's actually the same thing. It was me and that friend, and it came down essentially to one play difference, where like I could have possibly won, or at least could have stopped her from winning if I had done an action, which I didn't realize until afterwards. I also found out later, by the way. Turns out I was playing that Root game long. Like, it wasn't even as close as I thought. Because it turns out, if you want to know, the Vagabond doesn't get points for removing units with a crossbow. So I probably had maybe about 3 or 4 fewer points than I actually thought I did. But yeah, I know, we're not going to go into Root now. You know, it's a very king-makey sort of game, but I love the art style and the design of it so much that I don't care. See, that's it. I'm so enamored with game design. I fail to see the game for the game. But I still had a good time. That's kind of long and short of it. Just in my own sort of individual way of trying to make my dragon machine print eggs. Anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewells. Until next time, I was about to sit down. Bye bye for now. Why is my mouse so slow?